Hello VC, what's going on? It's me, Will, and I'm back with a new video. And first of all, I'm sorry I haven't been around very much lately. Just been super busy in the last few weeks or so, and I've also been out of town in the last few weekends. And also last week I got some friends from Florida come in to stay at my place here in Georgia for a few days. Obviously trying to stay away from Hurricane Irma. Fortunately, everything is good now. Everybody's safe, and yeah, in the last few weekends, or the last few weeks, I guess, I really haven't had much time to make any new videos. But now I'm back, and I guess back to regular programming. And as you saw in the intro of the video, I got a chance to see Ranaldo, the former guitar player and occasional singer of one of my favorite bands, SonicYouth, live here in a very small venue in Atlanta. He played here at the Smith's Old Bar back in June. So I wanted to show you some clips of the show. And speaking of Ranaldo of SonicYouth, I also wanted to show you some of the records and CDs that I've been picking up of the band, and also some other solo projects of the band, of the former band members. So yeah, let's go ahead and check out some more clips from the Ranaldo show. Alright, so that was Ranaldo playing live here at Smith's Old Bar in Atlanta back in June. And as you saw in the video, Smith's Old Bar is a very small venue. It's, in my opinion, it's perfect for an acoustic set because it's so small and you can get very close to the stage, you can get very close to the artists, and the acoustics are very good even though it's an indoor venue. Like I said before, I'm a huge fan of SonicYouth, and Ranaldo has always been one of my, I guess it wasn't really the main guy in SonicYouth. It was a band that was really dominated by bigger personalities like Kim Gordon and THURSTON Moore. But Ranaldo, I was always kind of partial towards his songs in SonicYouth because I really like his voice, and I always thought he was an extremely talented guitar player, and maybe a little bit shadowed or overshadowed by other also talented artists like THURSTON Moore, which is a fantastic guitar player as well. So it was very exciting to go see him live. He played a great show. Yeah, he played, I guess, a lot of new songs as well that were just released last weekend. He just released his new album, so it was really cool to get to hear him play some of the new songs that weren't released when I saw him live. So yeah, a really great show. But what's best about the show, in my opinion, is it was the chance to get to meet him at the end of the show. After the show, he came to hang out at the merch table. Probably one of the nicest people that you would ever meet in rock and roll. He just stayed there for almost an hour just talking to the fans and sharing his experiences in both SonicYouth and in his solo project. Nicest guy in the world. He was a great guy, very talkative. He can talk to you about almost anything. And of course, I got some things signed from Ranaldo, both from his solo project and from SonicYouth. So I was going to show you some things that I got signed from Lee. So let's start off with the album that he released back in 2013. This one's called Last Night on Earth, and this one came out, like I said before, in 2013 on MATADOR Records. Really nice gatefold there in the CD, and he signed the front cover for me. He dedicated it. He even wrote down the city and the date, which is really nice. And honestly, I always heard of Ranaldo's music, both in Sonic Youth and his solo music after Sonic Youth broke up, but I didn't really own many records of his solo projects until I would say a few weeks before I went to see him live. And this album is awesome. Came in with this really nice insert with or I guess a booklet with all the lyrics, some cool pictures. In the back, and yeah, this album is really good. And speaking of hurricanes, like I was talking about the Hurricane Irma in the beginning of the video, apparently a lot of these songs from this record were written at the time of that Hurricane Sandy hit New York City a few years ago. So there's a lot of songs about writing songs alone, looking at things in the room that where you're writing songs and playing some music. Really interesting album, really interesting lyrics. I really highly suggest or recommend that you check out this record.
The marble floor is cold, and I can smell the sea. I walk these streets of old with you standing right by me.
Alright, so that was a short clip from Ranaldo and the Dust with one of their songs from their album Last Night on Earth. And a great album. I would say if you like, or if you have listened to Sonic Youth in the past, and if you like the songs or the Sonic Youth songs that were written and sang by Ranaldo, you will definitely like this record because it's very similar in style. And one more thing that I really like about Ranaldo's style of music is that you can really understand everything. You can understand everything that he says when he sings. So he's very good at putting images in your head when you hear him sing and when you hear some of his music on a record. He's always been very talented at doing that kind of thing with his music. Alright, up next, since I was at the show and I got a chance to meet him, I also brought one Sonic Youth record that I wanted him to sign, and of course, him being a very nice guy, he signed it. I brought in this record right here from Sonic Youth. This one's called Experimental, Jet Set, Trash, and No Star. This one originally came out in 1994 on DGC Records. This is a reissue that I just picked up a few months ago. And this one came out in 2015 also on DGC Records. Great Sonic Youth record. I like the back here. It has a really nice quote from Jack Brewer. It says, "Once the music leaves your head, it's already compromised." I love that quote. Great Sonic Youth album. It might be in my top 5 of my power rankings of Sonic Youth records. Maybe someday I'll make a video with all my favorite albums from Sonic Youth. This one is the one that has a very famous song from Sonic Youth. It's called Bull in the Heather. But the whole album is filled with great music from the band. Perhaps one of their finest work. Another songs that I like from this album are Screaming Skull and Androgynous Minds. Make sure that you check out this one. And this, like I said before, this is a reissue. Came in with a really nice insert and a cool picture of the gear and the lyrics on one side. And the record itself sounds awesome. No problems with this reissue. There's a hype sticker, just on standard black vinyl, and the DGC labels. Really great album by Sonic Youth. If you check out something by them, this one should be definitely one of the ones that you check out by Sonic Youth. And speaking of great Sonic Youth records, I also was going to show you some records that I picked up in the last few months. I didn't get this one signed because I didn't bring them to the show, but these are some records that I just picked up recently in the last few months or so, I would say. And since I wanted to show you some of the clips from Ranaldo, of course I wanted to take the opportunity to show you some of these records from Sonic Youth or Sonic Youth related or solo projects. So this one's called Daydream Nation, another fantastic album by the band. One of their first albums. This one originally came out in 1988. And this is a reissue that came out in 2014 on GOOFIN Records. And as you see right there, I got it used for 18 bucks. Good deal because it's a double LP. It came in a nice gatefold with a picture of the band right there. And the records themselves came in on just standard black vinyl. Actually not sure if Sonic Youth does color vinyl and the custom labels. Yeah, like I said before, one of the best albums by Sonic Youth as well. It's gonna be really hard to rank the Sonic Youth records, but this one again, it should be ranking up in the at least in the top 5. Fantastic album by the band. Like the covers shows, a very moody album as well. I would say it's a little bit something that you will want to listen to at night or on a rainy day. Great record by Sonic Youth. And I think this one also came in with an insert, or yeah, it did come in with a poster actually of the band right there. Alright, so let's move on to some more Sonic Youth pickups, and this is a new old release by the band. This one's called Goo, perhaps the most popular or the most famous album by the band. This one originally came out in 1990. This is a reissue from 2015 on BGC Records. The classic front cover by from the band. And the back, I would say if you ever hear Sonic Youth songs on the radio, they might be from this album, because this one is the one that has the most hits. Songs like Dirty Boots, Merry Christ, Cool Thing, lots of classic Sonic Youth songs here in this record. And of course I love the artwork also in the front cover. This one's sealed for now. I'm gonna keep it sealed for the next few weeks, I would say, because I have a perfectly good copy on CD that I usually play. So this one's gonna stay sealed, so at least for now, but I eventually am gonna open it anyways and play it on vinyl, because this is a great record to own on vinyl. Alright, up next, another great Sonic Youth record that I just recently picked up from the record store. This one was this one's called The Eternal, and this is actually the very last studio album by Sonic Youth. This one came out in 2009 on MATADOR Records. I love the front cover in this record, and the front artwork. And the back, the gatefold I don't really like that much. I think it's a little bit too abstract for my taste. I don't really like that much the artwork inside here, which is kind of weird, because Sonic Youth is really well known for having really great artwork and throughout their whole in their albums and front covers and inside. But for some reason I just don't like it that much in the gatefold artwork for this one. But anyways, a fantastic album by Sonic Youth, another great one. I know I keep saying that about all the records that I keep showing you, but most of the Sonic Youth albums are great anyways. Double LP came in with their custom inner sleeves. This is LP number 1, or inner sleeve for LP number 1. I love the artwork here too. And the inner sleeve for LP number 2, and the back has a picture of Johnny Thunders of the New York Dolls. So you can tell that he was very influential to the band. And the records themselves came in again on just standard black vinyl with the custom labels. Now, talking a little bit more about this album, like I said before, a great album by Sonic Youth, a great way to say goodbye to the Sonic Youth era. Very different in style compared to their earlier albums. This is a point where Sonic Youth had, or they already started playing with cleaner guitars or crisper sounds on their guitars. And not as much distortion as they used before, but still an excellent album. And one more thing about this record is I went briefly through Discogs and I did not see any reissues of this record on vinyl. So I was very glad to find this one in the record store, because I bought this one used. I paid $12 for this one. Alright guys, so that's actually all the Sonic Youth vinyl that I have to show you for today. I did pick up a few more things on CD that are Sonic Youth and Sonic Youth related items. So let's go ahead and check it out. And this one is a CD single also from Sonic Youth. This one's called Sunday. And nowadays I don't buy that many CD singles, but I will buy CD singles for very specific bands, and Sonic Youth is definitely one of them. I do have a few more on CD single from the band as well, so I'm glad to add it to my collection, because I actually never seen this one out in the wild, and I picked this one up at the record store. And this one came out in 1998 on GEFFEN Records. This is a single from their album called 1,000 Leaves, which is actually on my list to get next from Sonic Youth. A really interesting CD single. It has a really cool picture of the band in the back. I think it's worth picking up, because it has Sunday, of course, is a fantastic song from Sonic Youth. The music video is very interesting. It has Macaulay Culkin from the Home Alone movies in the music video of Sunday from Sonic Youth. And one of the B-sides is a song called Moist Vagina, which is a cover from Nirvana. I think it was released in the B-side compilation of one of the Nirvana albums. And yeah, a really great CD single to own, in my opinion. I think I'm gonna try to get all of them if I can, but this one is definitely a great addition to my CD single collection. Last but not least, this is not a Sonic Youth album per se, but it is an album by one of the members, or a solo album by one of the members, the former members of Sonic Youth. This is the newest album by THURSTON Moore, and this one's called Rock and Roll Consciousness, and this one came out just a few months ago in 2017 on Caroline Records. The newest album by THURSTON, and I think it came in, well, it didn't come in with an insert, but here's the CD. I was kind of curious about this record. Honestly, at first I didn't know for sure if I was gonna buy it, because I have bought a Sonic Youth solo album before, and I just did not like it. It was a very experimental record. I think I've shown you in the past in one of my videos, and it was awful. I didn't like it at all. It was just a bunch of noise, basically. So I was kind of hesitant about getting this one, but I did check it out. I got it for a really good price on CD, and this is actually very good. It might be actually one of my favorite albums of this year, 2017. As you see right there in the back, it has only 5 songs, but most of the songs are very long, which I think this is something that the Sonic Youth band members do really well. They are one of the ones that can really do have very well composed long songs. I think the longest song in this album is a 10-minute song called Turn On. And it's very jammy, very guitar driven. I highly recommend that you check out this record, because if you're into rock and roll, you will definitely like Rock and Roll Consciousness by THURSTON Moore. Let's actually go ahead and check out some clips. Alright guys, so that's actually all I have to show you for today. I'm going to leave you with some more clips from Ranaldo playing live here in Atlanta. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be back in the next few days. Thank you. Bye.